About 6 months ago, we did a vlog on van life's biggest problem. Unfortunately, we didn't solve it. However, we have actually solved the problem. We're going to tell you what the problem is. We're going to tell you how we've solved it. We're going to tell you why it's taken us 14 years to actually solve this problem. We have got the best game changer that we've ever had. The best game changer for van life that there has ever been. Come on, Reece, show them what the problem is. Show them why this is a problem.
Here? Look at all these buckets.
Show them what the problem is.
Right, the problem is I want to empty my what do they call it, my toilet.
Your Thetford, your chemical
My Thetford.
toilet.
Number one, it weighs an absolute ton, and secondly, you've put all these bloody buckets in front of me.
You will explain the buckets in a bit.
I can't get past because of buckets. What am I doing here? The problem with these toilets is, number one, they're really heavy. And secondly, you've either got to find yourself an S-Land point or do what we sometimes do and find a really good friend where you can actually empty your toilet. Then you look like a right fool walking down the street with a toilet under your arm.
If you haven't already gathered, the problem that we're trying to address is toilets. How do you go to the toilet in a van? What do you do with your toilet? Where do you empty it? How do you manage the whole thing? What are the options that you've got? And in this vlog, we're going to take you through all of the different options that there are, why they do not work because we've tried them, and how we've now found the ultimate game-changing solution. Reece has gone to empty our current toilet, our Thetford chemical toilet at our friend's house, and I'm going to try and get somehow over all these buckets to make a cup of tea. Come on, Gretel number 2, let's have a brew. Hey up.
Hey up.
Well, that easy enough.
Oh, you've still got these buckets, haven't you? What am I supposed to do with these? So yeah, the problem with these chemical toilets that we found is you've either got to find an S-Land point, which don't really exist in the UK. They do somewhat, but you're forever driving. It's nothing like it is in Europe. Or you do what we kind of do, which is have various friends around the country and ring them up and say, excuse me mate, do you mind if I come and empty your toilet? Which again, isn't too ideal. And that's kind of how we've done it, which we spoke about in the vlog, where we were talking about the biggest problem in the UK is toilets when it comes to van life.
And we did find that you could search for S-Land points, didn't we? We did find that, but you can't go to any of them, can't use them, can you?
Can't use them.
Unless you're at like a campsite. Some of them let you just empty your toilet.
Some of them don't.
Some of them don't, you've got to pay overnight.
Bit of a gamble.
So it can be up from £5 to just empty your toilet, right up to 25, 30 quid to stay overnight.
And like you saw, they're heavy, they're bulky. Like
yeah.
You're either walking across a car park, walking across a campsite, or walking down the road like I've just done to empty it at a friend's house. And so that is the problem with that. These chemical toilets are, for us, just a nightmare. Most people use them, and you can't empty them down a public toilet because there's chemicals in it, and it's just an absolute no-no. There's been times when Emma's spilt the contents of said toilet down the front, and they're in there.
I have, down my trousers, like, I've done that about 3 times now.
3 times.
And there was somebody as well, wasn't there, that did another vlog on it, and they ended up getting pink eye. Was that King in it?
I think it was King in it, Amy from King in it.
Got it splashed
so
in her
they're not
eye.
ideal, so we were like, right, what's the solution to the problem? And we thought we'd come up with it. Emma thought, it were these buckets everywhere in van.
I'm gonna explain why we've got all these buckets, and I'm gonna explain why these are part of the issue that you can have. So we've considered every single type of toilet that there is, basically. You've got your composting toilet. Your composting toilet, people get confused about. I know this isn't the world's most interesting subject, but it is something that people have to understand.
I'm fascinated by it.
No, because it's a massive problem. Me and Reece have been
Absolutely
rowing for about
fascinated.
half an hour.
We've been rowing, I'm like, Emma, this is absolutely fascinating.
It's rubbish. I don't want it, you know, because people need to know about this. And it's a problem. Toilets are a problem for so many reasons. Right, so firstly, the problem when it comes to like emptying, where do you empty and what you do? Reece has already explained about the problems that you've got with chemical toilets. The next option you've got is a composting toilet. A composting toilet would basically be a bucket like this. So these are the types of things you get when you're going camping, and you get like a toilet seat on the top and 1 bucket. And that means that both your liquids and your solids go into the same bucket. Now, if you're doing that, And even with just one person in a van, if you're doing your liquids and your solids into one bucket, you put a layer of like sawdust at the bottom, or you can use, there's other stuff that you can use as well. You can get these like sort of bricks that you get, they're like, I think they're called like cocoa bricks or something like that, and basically you can break those up as well. However, it can work out quite expensive because you have to put a layer in the bottom, then you do your business, put another layer on the top, do your business, do another layer, and it's like that obviously continuously every time you're using the toilet. As you can imagine, that's going to fill up pretty quick even with one person. If you've got two people in a van, you're going to be having to empty that like every single day basically, because the amount that you're going to do with liquids and solids, and because you're emptying it so frequently and because it's just sat static, it never composts, which is why you get that smell that people don't like. And you would basically need, for like, and this is being conservative, for 1 month of a composting toilet, you're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 basically buckets of sawdust. And that's being conservative with it. And then you've also not only got to store that sawdust probably in your boot, but you've got to have like a bucket of it or a box of it or something next to where your toilet is, which is why people building these bench seats and half the bench seat is filled with sawdust. So you can keep putting it into the other one that you're going into every time. So you've got so much of that. Now, your other option is your separating toilet. Your separating toilet does exactly what it says on the tin, and it separates your solids from your liquids. So you'll have a bucket like that for your solids, and then you'll have like a kind of a put these down.
I'll start calling you Mrs. Bucket, yeah. Mrs. Bouquet.
Mrs. Bouquet. You'll have like a jug type thing with a lid on for your liquids basically at the front. So you'd usually have a bottle there to be able to take your liquids, and you'd have it funnels that separately to the solids. Now that's a better idea, it is a better idea, but even the homemade kits that you can buy, like you can go onto like Amazon and you can buy a kit that's going to cost you about 100 quid, and then you've got to build your bench seat, and then you've got to build your toilet top in, then you've got to still build a storage space to put all your composting stuff like your sawdust or whatever you're going to use, because even with one of those you can realistically take away 2 buckets, and then you're just left with these 3 is what you'd need for about a month for one person. 3 buckets of sawdust. That's what it says on Tinterweb. I would say that you're going to need more than that. I mean, I would say you're going to be looking at probably still maybe about 4, because when you're doing your solids, you're going to want to make sure it's completely covered. Now, it's easier and you don't need as much because obviously you're trying to dry out your solids by putting the sawdust in. Therefore, because your liquids are not in there, you don't get as much smells. It does compost better, and it does absorb all of the moisture out of your solids basically, which is how you get rid of the smell. But you're still going to need, I'd say, at least 3 buckets, right, to be stored in your van to last you a month, which is a lot in it to be carting around with you. And then the reason that this is such an issue, the reason that you need so much of like sawdust or whatever else you're going to be storing to use, is because it's sat. Your solids are just sat, whichever, whether you're choosing a composting toilet or a separating toilet, they're just sat. And you need oxygen to get into it to make compost. And obviously as well, you've got the same problem as you had with the composting one when you've got a separating one, in that you're going to, because you're putting so many layers of sawdust on, you're going to be emptying on a regular basis, because this is going to fill up, even if you're just going to the toilet once a day, in terms of solids, this is going to fill up still pretty quickly with the amount of sawdust and stuff that you're putting in there to dry it out. So again, the composting never has a chance to actually start working, and it's just sat there, and you're still going to get smells. So you're still going to need to buy a pump and fit a pump to get rid of the smells as well.
Right, we need to put everything away because we need to go find our park up.
And then we're going to explain to you the other types of toilets that there are, because there are other toilets other than composting and separating toilets. There's these new fandangled things, and we're going to explain the downsides of those, if there are any, and the upsides of them, and eventually tell you the solution that we've found. Buckets away, there's about 10 of them already.
I know. What am I doing here? What do you want me to? You put everything away now. What am I supposed to do here?
I can't even. There's just stuff everywhere. Right, come on, let's go find a park.
Right, don't forget the potato.
Come on, Daisy, let's go find a park up.
We're also going to tell you why this solution changes the game, even if you're not a van lifer, but you're upset with van lifers van lifing, emptying the toilets and all that kind of thing, because we know that it causes a lot of problems with supposedly van lifers pouring it into the sea and pouring it in bushes and all that kind of thing, and the solution solves all that. So if you're not a van lifer and you're thinking, we hate van lifers, this is for you as well. You need Daisy's bed, where is it?
Under cooker, a pod.
This one?
A pod.
Ah,
Put it in.
Emma, what have you done here?
Well, I know, but I forgot
Look
I'd
at
left
this
it there.
now. Get that monstrosity out
bulky
of the
toilet
way,
out of the
buckets
way.
out of the way.
It's going in bin, that.
Look at that.
Go in it, bin that toilet.
Double cooker. Daisy's pod.
Get
Right,
it binned.
let's go. Come on, little
Get it
potato.
binned. Do you know what else I don't like about them chemical ones though? Is the fact it's chemicals. It's never sat right with me. I've tried those like eco-friendly chemicals, and then it just stinks. So you can't really win, can you? So I'm happy now I've got a new solution.
Just chuffed to bits. Daisy, what are you doing? Shall we go find park up? Yeah.
We're gonna get out. This is nice, isn't it? Yeah. Shall we go make a cup of tea? Do you want a cup of tea? Do you want a cup of tea? Yeah, go on then. Oh. You don't want picking up, do you, in a minute? Oh, there we go. I think we need to get you a little carry bag, don't we?
This is our park up for tonight. We're still stuck in the Yorkshire/Lancashire area just because we're still waiting on Emma's test results from the hospital. I've been referred to the hospital for something, and so we're going to wait on test results for that. So we just need to be in the area. Daisy's still recovering, although she has got the green light from a vet, but we just want to give it a couple more weeks within the vicinity of a vet. So this is the park up for tonight, but what a park up it is. Hello, thank you.
Go. Daisy, come on this way. She's determined she wants to walk down there. She was like that this morning. She wanted to walk on a bowling green, and then she won't eat for 3 hours because we didn't let her go on bowling green. Come on this way. So what are the other options in terms of if you're not going to go for a composting toilet or a separating toilet? Now I've educated you on what the difference is. There are a few other options. These new fandangle things that you can get. So you can get a toilet at the moment that you basically do both your solids and your liquids into like a bag that's in the toilet. So you get this kind of ring of bags and you do your business in it, and when you've done your business in it, there's like a heat thing that comes across, seals the bag and drops it underneath, so you can then take that bag and put it into the bin. Now that solves your smell problem because you're getting rid of it each and every time you're doing it if you're near a bin, and if you're in a place where you can just put basically that into a bin. For me, it feels, I know you can put nappies in bins and that sort of thing, but it just feels a bit wrong putting human waste into a bin. It just don't feel right. And so, you know, you don't know how often these bins are emptied, and it just don't feel right for me. We've then looked at the other ones that you can get, which are a kind of similar thing, but it doesn't get rid of it each and every time you go. So again, you've got like this kind of donut of bags. It's like one huge bag, and you push it down in the middle, and it's like silver foil, and you do your business in that, and then you press a button, it sucks it down, sucks all the air out, twists it round, and then you go and you do your next one and it does the same again, and your next one it does the same again, and it obviously stores them all up. It's a bit like, don't know if you remember them old, what they used to call diaper genies. People still have them, I'm sure, but they were like really, really popular sort of 25 years ago, where you would put a nappy in and you'd push it into a bag and you'd twist the top and then you'd keep putting them in. You could store loads of nappies in them. If you ever used anything like that, which I did years and years, many moons ago, I used to work in creches, and it's meant to stop the smell. It doesn't. Even though it twists it, it doesn't, in my experience, stop the smell. Maybe these ones with the silver foil are a bit different because it's more like a foil than a bag. But again, you've still got human waste that is not decomposing or anything like that. It's just fresh human waste. It's basically twisted into a bag. And you know the weight of carrying one of those heavy chemical toilets. You're still going to have the same weight, even if you put the crystals in to crystallise the liquids. you're still going to have that weight in there that you've then got to grab all of these amounts of times that you've been and put it into a bin somewhere, you know, whether that's back at home or whether, you know, if you're living in a house or whatever, or whether that's out travelling, it still just don't feel right, does it? So I don't think there's the solutions, not to mention the ongoing cost of these bags, because these disc things you get with the bags in are actually quite expensive. So what actually is the solution? What is it, Daisy?
So the answer comes from a company, a German company called Biotio, and they said to us, try out this toilet. If it doesn't change the game, you don't need to do a video, you don't need to mention it, you don't need to ever do anything, and you get to keep the toilet. So we were like, right, okay. I was very skeptical, I'll be completely honest. I said to Emma, there's no way this is going to solve the problems. Why can't we just use X, Y, Z, whatever? This has honestly changed how we do it now. You see a lot of the time on Facebook groups and stuff, people's biggest issue with van lifers, it seems to be, to me anyway from what I've seen, is the toilet issue. Where are you emptying your toilet? And this company have literally solved that issue. It makes life for us so simple and so easy that it's no longer an issue to be talked about. It is that good.
So you can get rid of all these. You can get rid of your 5 buckets that you're going to need to carry around all your material for your composting, whether it be sawdust or whatever. You can get rid of that. You can get rid of your 3 buckets that you'd need if you were doing a separating toilet. You don't need any buckets for this. You don't need any to carry around, any bulky stuff at all. All you need is one of these packs that's provided by Biotio. You can actually use the brick things as well. They'll work just as well. You can use them, but I think these are so much easier to use because they don't create any mess whatsoever basically when you're using them. So you need one of these. One of these will last you a whole month. A whole month. That's all you need to carry around. For the storage of this little box, 6 of those, light as a feather as well. I bet I couldn't do that again, it's just landed straight in bucket. Light as a feather. For 6 of those, come in a little box like this, a 3. So for 6 of those, you've got 6 months. That's 6 months of being on the road. All your composting material that you're going to need is in that. And I'm going to show you how this works and why it is different to any other thing that I have ever seen.
One thing I like about this company as well is the guy whose company it is, who owns the company, is into camping and travelling himself. So he understands the difficulties of what life is like when you're travelling and you're on the road, which I absolutely love that, because there's no point somebody coming up with a product or saying this changes the game if you're not doing it yourself. And so I absolutely love the fact that he gets it, this company gets it, because what we're all trying to do, the whole point of this is so we can be out here in the wild, in nature, living on the road without having to worry about where your next toilet drop-off is, to only then discover that in the UK there's very few toilet drop-offs. And if you haven't got friends and family scattered all over the country, what are you actually supposed to do? Like, it's such a difficult problem to have, that when you're on the road, you're living on the road, it's almost impossible in the UK, really. Like, well, no, it's not impossible, it's just very difficult, isn't it? And so what we want to do is be out here enjoying it all without having to worry about where your next toilet stop is. And these guys, fair play to them, they've solved it.
This is it. It's absolutely brilliant for so many reasons, right? I'll tell you why I like it. It's the moulding of it. For starters, it looks cool, doesn't it? And it's really small. It's so compact, it's unbelievable. It's really small compared to the big old Thetford. Let me show you that. Now we've emptied it, I can actually lift it. So compared to that, it's much smaller than this thing, much smaller. And it's so sleekly designed as well. You can have this base in white or you can have it in stainless steel. but I think this just feels like cleaner, doesn't it? You know, when you clean it, it feels really fresh. And this, the way that it's moulded, you don't get any of those, like in the chemical toilets, you get all these hingy bits and all these little bits around where you have to press the flush, and they get dirty and you just can't get them clean. And I really don't like anything that's like germy. I can't stand any germs. I like it to be really clean. And this is so easy to clean. It literally wipes over. It's really moulded. It's really nice. It's got like a little green light on it here, so that when you open it, it's sort of telling you that it's working, and it's telling you that like nothing's going, basically it's not going to start churning while this lid's open. So you've got a safety thing there as well. And I'll show you exactly what you do with it. This is how it works. It's very, very similar until it's not to a separating toilet. You've got this container in the front that takes your urine in it. We haven't used it yet, but we will be using it, and we're going to make sure we show you exactly what it's like before we actually kind of finish this vlog off. But it's got this blue container at the front which holds an awful lot, and you're not going to need to empty this very often at all. And the thing that I like about this is that a lot of these kind of containers, whatever you call bottles, I suppose, that you get in these split separating toilets, they have like a pipe that goes into them. And I kept saying to Reese, we'll get one of them. Like, well, yeah, you're driving round if it's like nearly full and it starts overflowing everywhere, or if you brake harshly, or, you know. But this has got a really cool thing in it. It's got like a ball in the top. So as you're driving around, nothing can come out, but when you do go for a wee, it can all go in. And it's just stuff like that. It's just really, really clever. All you'll do is take this out and basically take the lid off, and then go and empty it, and that's it. And that can go down any toilet whatsoever because it's got no chemicals in it. So you can literally pour that down a public toilet when you're out on the road. You can pour it down your own toilet if you're going back home, or you're on a campsite, whatever. You can pour that down a toilet really easily. Any public toilet is perfectly fine to do that. So that makes that thing much easier and a lot less embarrassing carrying that across a car park to be able to empty it than when you're kind of going to empty your Thetford toilet somewhere, or any other make of chemical toilet somewhere. The next bit that you've got is this bit in the back. So this bit is your composting bit. This is the bit where your solids go into. And if you have a look in the bottom here, there's these swirly things. It will not swirl while it's open because it's got a safety mechanism on it, so you can't make it turn while it's open. But you've got these swirly metal blades in here. You empty one bag of this into here. And what you can do is you get these bottles of water, you get 2 plastic bottles of water with it for you to be able to rinse around the inside of the lid and stuff when you've been to the toilet to keep it clean or whatever. But you empty 1 bottle of water into this bag. It won't leak. Empty it in, because this is so dry you don't want plumes of like dust anywhere. So you empty it into the bag first, then you tip the bag into there. And it's as simple as that. And then if you want to put some more, another squeezy bottle of water over the top of it, just to make sure that you've got no kind of dust floating around, you can do. But I think the drier this is, the better it works. So you're better off just using 1 bottle, I think. You pour it into there. Now, this is the really, really clever bit. When you just do your solids into a bucket and you keep adding in handfuls, even if you just bought this stuff and bought your own kind of easy, cheap setup, it wouldn't work the same. And the reason that it won't work the same is because, number one, you'd need way more than 1 bag, because you'd have to keep covering up your solid every time you've done it, and you'd have to have a base layer of this in the bottom as well. And then because you keep adding to it, you'd have to keep emptying the bucket quicker. And the more often you have to empty the bucket, the less chance it's got to actually compost, because it hasn't got enough time to compost. And also you're getting no oxygen into it, and it's the oxygen getting into it that makes it compost. So you can literally, it'll take you about a month to fill this bucket up, a whole month, 1 of these bags, and 1 month of going to the toilet, 1 person. In that, on average, that's what it would take you. And the reason that it'll compost is because of the churny things. So as it's churning it, as it's turning it around, it's getting air into it, and it's churning this stuff around over and over again. So you don't need to add any more in there, you just need the 1 bag. And it will take all of the moisture out of your solids and turn it into literal compost stuff. It's dry, there's no smell, there's nothing, it's dry. It will literally turn it into that, and it's got time to do that over time because you're not having to empty it as often. And to top it off, put this back on, it's got these little easy fasteners on the back to keep the lid on. And then it's got a pipe that comes out at the back, if you can see it down there, and that pumps out any smells. So it's like a vacuum basically, and that will run continuously, will the vacuum, but it uses next to nothing. It uses a couple of amp hours in 24 hours. It uses next to nothing whatsoever. You're not going to feel it on your battery, and so that just basically will be constantly pumping out any smells, so you're not going to get any smells. The electricity to use the churner will only use it sporadically. So you've got a couple of settings in which you can use that churning tool on. So you can have it where, I mean, every time you put the lid down, it will do it automatically. And you can have it where it will set it like, so every 15 minutes, half an hour, whatever, it will just sporadically sort of be turning and churning. But then you can have it on night mode so that it knows not to do it during the night while you're asleep, so that you don't get any kind of background noise while you're sleeping that might wake you up. And it's just a little switch that you sort of flick on and off. I'm going to actually be putting a bench seat onto this, so I'm going to sort of bury this switch into the bench seat, but it's basically just a switch. So all you'll do is like flick it onto number 2 or flick it onto number 1, and it will then set it to either be a sporadic every now and again movement, or for it to leave it alone during the night so you can actually get some sleep. It's not noisy anyway, to be honest. It's just a churning noise. It's not noisy, it's not continuous, it's only every now and again. However, if you didn't want that, and you didn't want to sort of have it using your electricity in terms of the churning thing that it's doing, or you didn't want any sort of noise at all, like if it's churning, you can actually have a hand crank. So where this is on the side, this is the motor to make it turn. So all you do is you just pull this little thing here. That releases the top. It's got a magnet underneath as well, and then you just pull that off really simply. It's really easy, and that allows you to then be able to pull the bucket out of the back so that you can empty it. But you can, instead of having the motor attached, you don't have to have that at all, and you can have like a hand crank, so you just do it yourself every now and again when you want to do it, and therefore you don't have it running in the background or anything like that. You'll obviously be emptying your liquids container, the blue one in the front, as you're going along. This is your composting bin. Once this is filled with your solids only, all you'll do is take one of these bags. They provide you with these bags. You can get these on their website as well. And it's just a paper bag. You could buy these yourself, or you can get them. You get Morrison's paper bags, don't you? Or I'm sure there's other stores that do them as well. But these are specifically designed to fit over it. And you can use a carrier bag, but it's just not very eco-friendly, is it? And that's one of the things that's bugged me about them before, like with chemical toilets, is not being eco-friendly. So you literally, all you'll do is put this over the top like that. It fits over it specifically. You'll turn this upside down, and it's in the bag, no mess whatsoever. Give it a couple of pats on the bottom, and because it will all be completely dry, what's inside, it'll be completely dry, you'll be able to literally give it a couple of taps on the bottom, pull the bag out, the box out like that. You're left with the bag. You don't have to wash that or do anything with it. You just carry on using it, because it'll be empty anyway, but any kind of micro fragments of anything that's in there, which literally will just be micro fragments because it'll be so dry, but anything that is left in there, that's fine to just continue. Put another packet of your stuff inside and continue to do what you've done before. That will help the composting process going forward with the next lot that you use it for. It'll help it to compost quicker. And then all you'll do then is fold this bag up and take it and dispose of it, because it's garden waste basically. It's compost waste, so you can put it on a garden at home if you've got a garden. You can put it on like an allotment. You could put it in a bin. You can put it in a household bin, like you can put it into a public bin, depending on like if you've got different rules in different areas or whatever. But it won't be human waste anymore. It will just be dry, basically compost, dry compost, that's it, because it's got the time to turn into compost. But you don't have the smells because you've got the pump, and because you've got the oxygen going in there, and because you've got the constant churning. And it took me a while to explain to Reese why this was such a game changer, because he's like, I don't get it, like why? And it's those elements, those are the key elements to it. The fact that it's churning it, it's constantly moving it, oxygenating it, it's drying it out constantly because it's churning it and mixing it with the dry pack that you get here, and it's mixing it in with that. And so it's obviously drying out a lot quicker, which means that you don't get smells. It does compost faster. And the only smell that you should get from it once it's composted is basically a smell of like a gardening, really. It's just going to be a compost. So it's just be like a sort of garden type smell you should get from it. You're not going to get anything unpleasant from it once it turns into compost. And whilst it's turning into compost, you've got the pump working, which is going to take any smell away anyway, and it's going to dry it out really quickly because of the fact that it's churning. So this is what makes it so unique. Now, we're not going to actually just say that's it to this vlog and we've told you about it and that's it. We're going to give this a go for a week. We didn't want to use it while we're filming it because obviously we don't really want to be showing you, you know, our waste in the bin and stuff like that whilst it's in the process of composting and stuff. But we're going to use it for a whole week and we're going to come back and we're going to tell you, does it work? Does it smell? Is it as good as they say it is? And we'll give you an honest review on what we think.
14 years of trial and error, trying every toilet system we can possibly think of, including public toilets, which is a viable option. But this just solves absolutely everything. And you might be saying, yeah, but where do you actually dispose of it? Bag it. We're going to double bag it actually wherever possible, just because we're very, very conscious. But you don't need to. It literally looks like soil. That's it. It looks like garden soil. You bag it, pop it in a bin. Your liquid waste goes down the toilet because that's all it is liquid waste. There's no chemicals in it, so it can't harm anything. It's literally like going for a wee, basically, like at a public toilet. So all that gets taken out. This literally ends Eslam points. It literally ends this worry that most, if not all, van lifers have of where do you empty your toilet, and it also answers the worry for the general public of where do van lifers empty the toilet, because we need some answers here. That's what the general public are saying, isn't it? Like, where are you emptying your toilet? We are constantly, as van lifers, as a community, getting blamed for disposing of toilets, and this literally ends that because they wouldn't have an argument for it, because it literally gets put in the bin and it's literally just soil. Fair play to Biotayo for coming up with this, because when they made the claim that they'd solved this issue and that they'd literally changed the game, I were very sceptical, as I said, and fair play to them. They've done it, they've actually done it, and it's definitely changed the way that we do van life, that we think about van life. It's got rid of yet another stress for van life.
So where do we go from here? Well, simple. That's going to be the toilet that we're going to use going forward. It solves so many issues. It just feels like it kind of ticks every box. That eco thing that we're all worried about, when you know you don't want to damage the environment, you want to look after the environment. I don't have to use any more chemicals. That's gone. I don't feel like I'm dumping human waste into a bin, which just feels wrong. It's already composted by the time it's going to go in the bin. That's not going to be an issue. It's just going to literally be soil. As you saw from the clip that we put in earlier, it literally is just like soil basically by the time you come to emptying it. And so it solves that problem. It's even solved another sort of problem that we've had, where we don't have anywhere to put his shoes and his coats, and it's really annoying in this van because we end up with coats piled up on the wall, shoes on the floor, you're tripping over things. And I've thought about putting a bench seat in before, so obviously now, because I'm building that in as part of this L-shaped seating, and I was going to do it before when we considered getting a composting or a general separating toilet. But the fact then remained that that seat would have been half filled with sawdust or whatever other composting material I were going to be using, because I would have needed so much to keep putting back into it. Now I don't have to do that. Now I basically just empty, like I have done already, one of these every month. Every time I need to basically empty it and reuse it, I just put one of these in and that's it. So that box is the only thing I have to find storage for, which will just go in my boot. And then, you know, go in the garage area. And then all I need to do is empty one of them into there and that's it. So I've now got half the bench seat, which is going to be empty once I've built it. So I can put the coats in there and the shoes in there, which solves that issue as well. So kind of inadvertently, it solved another problem for us. And it's so easy. It's just so sleek looking. You could just have it out on, you know, on display in your van. It's very sleek and futuristic. But for our van build, it'll be better off if it's inside kind of a box, because it's more country cottage, isn't it? So it won't really fit with ours. But it'll go inside a box very easily. And that's it. Job done. I'm absolutely over the moon with it. I really am, honestly. I've been going on and on and on at Reese, about kind of trying to explain how this were going to work. And the more I've explained it to him, the more he were kind of getting it. And then when he's seen it for himself and he's seen how it's worked, he's been like, yeah, actually, this is a massive game changer. It just solves so many issues. I think it's an investment worth getting. We've actually got a promo code for you as well, so you will get a discount off because they've been really nice and giving us a promo code for you. So if you look into the, it'll be pinned as the top comment and it'll also be in the description. So you'll be able to click on that and then you'll get a discount as well when you sort of go through to buying one if you want to get one for yourselves. I'd highly recommend it. I really, really would highly recommend it.
So thank you so much for Biotire for sponsoring today's video.
Biotio.
Biotio, you know what I'm like with my pronunciations.
They're hard to pronounce,
they are hard to pronounce.
It's the hardest thing about the toilet is pronouncing its
What
name.
can I call them? Biotire. Biotio. Oh, we all know you're
They're
here.
not
You're angry
actually, I
little
will
potato.
just say as well, because they're electronic, do you want to pick her up?
I do,
so
yeah.
keep
Come here,
barking?
you. Don't bite me. Don't bite me.
Because you can get the electronic version, if you want the electronic version, it is quite simple to wire it up. It's not difficult. But a lot of their videos are in German. They do some translated videos in English. But you might actually find me doing the translation going forward because I've offered for a man
Yeah,
to
we're
do
going
this
to
translation.
maybe partner up with them and do
into
the translation.
Yorkshire.
Into Broad Yorkshire.
But I believe in it that much. I've literally said, you know, the only thing that's kind of letting you down is your translation on your videos because they're AI translated, a lot of them. So I have actually offered and said, if you want
So
me
Emma's
to do
gonna
that
solve
going
that.
forward, I will do that for
Absolutely
you because,
epic.
you know, and that I will be doing that off my own back with no payment or anything.
Well done,
just
Emma.
because, no, just because I just think it's so good. I just think it's so good. I'm happy to do that,
Lovely.
you know, because I just think it's so good.
Love that.
So they might take me up on that or they might not if they don't like my accent. I don't know. But yeah, it's very simple. It's a few wires to wire up the switches and the pump, you know, and that's it. It's not a complicated business, and you can get the gist of it by just watching what they're doing on the video, you know, and the instruction sheet thing that you can click on. So it's like an online one. You can get the gist of it by just looking at that without actually needing to hear the English anyway. But yeah, that's the most complicated bit is that bit and its name, innit?
Complicated bit. So yeah, catch us on, when will the next video be?
Friday.
Catch us on Friday at 7 p.m. And if you're wondering and going, oh yeah, well that's your toilet sorted, Reese, but you're wondering where to get a shower and you didn't see the last video, we'll leave a link to where to get a shower and where we get a shower easily without ever having to fit a shower.
And we'll leave a link to the original one that described the problem.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. So you can choose between which video you want to watch next. But thank you so much for watching, guys. As always, keep writing your own story, and we'll catch you on what day did you say?
Friday.
Friday
And don't forget
at
to
7
hit the
p.m.
hype.
Hype, like, and if you want to join our little community and really, really help our channel out, subscribe. Cheers, guys.